literally just went to start filming there. I'm like, oh my god, I've not sprayed perfume. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren, aka That Fine Gal. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It means the absolute world, so thank you. I'm wearing a jumper today because I was kind of worried I'd done my face, that my face would match my neck, so I'm absolutely sweating with the house heating on under this, but gal's got to do what a gal's got to do. Today's video is the Lashes Love and Life series, episode 3, part 2. So the first part is about online dating. If you've not watched that, then please catch up because it was bloody amazing. I'm no unbiased, but it was good. And this one is part B, which is all things relationship, basically life after dating, and it's going to be just as juicy. If you're not familiar with my Lashes Love and Life series, basically at the end of every month, usually the last day of each month, I put up a poll on my Instagram. You can follow me here at That Vain Gal. I put up a poll, basically asked a series of questions on a particular topic, which I then discuss. I calculated the percentage and I share it on this, and you get my full chatty self, just talking through the results and my own personal experience with the results. If this sounds right up your street, then please follow me on Instagram and get involved each month because it's just so good, it's so good, it's so juicy. Tea is spilled, blood is shed, people get dumped, you know, we love that stuff. But today's video is just life after dating. Now, I did specifically say you do not have to be in a relationship this evening, just going to the shop in it. You don't have to be in a relationship to answer these questions. You could have been in one before, or you might have a particular feeling on relationships for particular questions. Just get bloody involved. And people did, and I had the results, and I'm going to share them. So let's just jump right in, and I hope you enjoy this video. But before you do, don't forget to hit that wee bell and subscribe to my channel because your support means the absolute world, and it supports me and it encourages me to provide more content like this, so thank you. Let's go. Okay, so I'm not going to beat around the bush. This video, obviously I'm in a relationship. Part A was all about dating and everything dating, online dating. I met Lewis on a dating app, which was Bumble, and I discussed all that, and obviously I'm still in a relationship. So obviously when you've been in a relationship, and I did not hold back on the dating one because I have some serious horror stories from dating. If you watch part A, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I spilled that goddamn tea. I was mopping it up for about a week. You know what I'm talking about. And part B, obviously being in a relationship that stemmed from online dating. I have even more tea to spill because I've got access to grind with my boyfriend on certain situations. Obviously being in a relationship, you have certain arguments, opinions and stuff, and I'm not going to hold back just because my boyfriend can watch this video. I'm just going to be completely honest and completely transparent because that is what I'm about. And we're just going to go into the first question right here, right now. Let's go. So you've been dating, you like them, they give you butterflies, like fanny flutters the lot. So how soon into dating should you make it official? So I give the options: whenever it feels right. It feels right, hun, you do it. Then a month's, like under a month bracket, can kinda come into whenever it feels right, under a month. 1 to 2 months or 3 months plus. There was 11% that put 3 months plus. I'm wondering how the person's even sticking around, because if someone made me wait that long, I would think they weren't interested. I'd be like, patch that next. That's a long time. Like, surely you feel enough to be in a relationship with them. Like what's the situation? Are you exclusively dating other people? Like, I'm triggered. Of course, the most common answer was whenever it feels right, it feels right, and I definitely put that as well. I wouldn't put a bracket on it. However, if I'd been waiting 3 months for him to pop the official question, I'd be like, you're not that into me. I know that's a film, but it is actually true. Like, I would be like, you're not that into me. Like, why am I waiting about for you to pop the official question? Like, do you not see my worth? I would be fuming. Like, me and Lewis became official within a month, I think. Maybe like a month bracket, just over a month, and we became official. But we were seeing each other a lot, and yeah, I think we'd seen each other about maybe 8 or 9 times. We had sleepovers and stuff like that, and it was just one of them ones with Lewis, like when you know, you know, and that was when we became official. So yeah, I would say whenever it feels right, but I would think like 3 months plus to take the pass. Waiting around that long, would you really be surprised if they got bored and moved on? Like, you made them wait over 3 months. They could have been ready within 1 month. Like, if they then move on, could you actually be raging with them? Because that is like a hell of a long time. So the next question was golden oldie. Right, the whole Facebook official drams. So my question was, do you believe in it's not official until it's Facebook official? This has such a big rep where it's like, oh, are you Facebook official? Because it's like the be all and end all. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pure into that hype. Like, if someone didn't make it Facebook official, I would think they were hiding me, and I'd be like, hun, do you not want me to be seen? Like, what you hiding? I would be pure sus. Like, I remember on the past, I put a lot of pressure on the whole Facebook official thing, and maybe I put too much pressure on it, right? But there is, first thing people ask you is, oh, are you Facebook official? It is a thing, and like, what if you then turn around and go, no, we're official but not Facebook official? People would be like, what? The embarrassment of saying you're official but not Facebook official and trying to actually explain that in this day and age, like, how? So my like answers you could put where 100% believe in it or load of shit, and most people put load of shit, like 83% put load of shit, and I'm like, just me then. Obviously it wasn't just me, but I'm like, how? Like, what if they didn't put a Facebook official and you were like sitting there and they didn't put you on social media? This is going to tie into my next question, but like, would you not be pure weirded out? Like, who would want you on their Facebook to show their friends and family, like showing you off like a trophy? That's the dream. And if someone didn't do that of me, I'd be sus as fuck, and I'm not scared to admit that. I do believe in the hype of Facebook official, and I'm pure superstitious, and I believe in all these things, and I truly believe if they didn't want me Facebook official, they're not that into me. Most people, they done the polls, things a load of shit, and thank God, because I had put too much pressure on this in the past. Luckily Lewis was all for the Facebook officialness to show me off to his mates, and that's what I'm talking about, because a real guy or anyone just is so into you would want to show you off to their mates. I feel pure weird for jumping on, and I'm absolutely sweating, but yeah. Next question was, would you be sus, so suspicious, if they didn't put you on their socials? This could be anything. It could be Snapchat stories, it could be Insta stories, Insta feed, Facebook stories. There's so many social media platforms, I can't keep up. So this question just basically getting at if they didn't show you off in any way, so like tagging a wee post or put a wee innocent photo, if they done none of that, would you be sus? Options were either nah, I'm chill, or oh yeah. Highest percentage was oh yeah. Now, thank God, because that's what I'm talking about. If they didn't put you on their social media, they're clearly hiding something. Like, I think there's something so endearing when you're in, like, getting to know someone and they tag in a wee post because you know their pals can see it. Either just tagging in like a meme or something, or just something funny, and they like give you a wee tag and you're like, oh, they want me to be seen. On the flip, if they upload a wee photo, like say to their Snapchat story, right, I think Snapchat is a more innocent one where you can upload someone, it doesn't have to be that serious, but if you're seeing each other, you're like, oh, they want me to be seen, because then their pals will be like, who's that? And they'll be like, well, I'm so here for that shit, like social media apps. Like, I remember I was dating a guy, and the guy was like, no, I don't really use Facebook, so I'm not adding you on it. And bear in mind, I had been dating this guy for like 3 months. That's why I feel heavy weird about that whole 3 month plus of dating. But yeah, like he was like, oh, I don't really use Facebook, there's no point in having you on it. And I'm like, you're trying to hide something, you're trying to hide me. He had me on Instagram, you can have loads of people on Instagram, and I was just like, what are you actually hiding? Yeah, I just didn't think it was like, I found it quite weird that he was being weird about his Facebook, and I do think that's a red flag. Definitely when I was dating, it's a huge red flag for me if they do not want you on any of their social medias. Another red flag could be that you go to post a picture with them and they're like, no, don't post it, like, I don't want you to post a picture of me. Sus. By the way, I know I'm pure going wee down the well with myself, like he's playing up and Lewis isn't here to fix it for me, and I'm alone, and I'm just like trying to work with it, so the selfie light is kind of going at an angle, so I've had to like make my chair go down, and yeah, I just look pure small now, and the background's missing, but bear with me because the background shouldn't matter when the tea's been spilled, so sorry, and I hope this does not ruin your experience. Next question was, how soon into the relationship should you meet the parents? Now, Lewis had this big deal about meeting his parents. Like, I'm sorry if his mum or anyone like that, his mum or dad or anyone's watching this, but Lewis put a lot of pressure on me to meet his fam. Now, my mum kind of just comes as this package. Like, if you're going to stay overnight, for example, you're going to meet my mum, like, there's just my mum and that's it, and like, she'll probably pick you up and stuff. So it's inevitable that people meet my mum, but it's not this big pressurised thing. She's just there to be hi, bye, like, it's pretty chill. She's more like a pal. Whereas Lewis wanted me to properly meet his fam. Like, he's a twin, so there was this big pressure to go on with the twin, which is like, he has a mum and a dad. I remember him telling me we would not go official until I had met his family, and I thought that was a bit much, because to me, I think you should be official and then meet the family, because it can cloud someone's judgment, and I think they should like that person for them, and your family's judgment just shouldn't come into it, because it is just an opinion. And I remember feeling so pressured to get on with his family, because obviously I really like Lewis, and I was like, oh my god, I need to meet this big impression on his family, or Lewis isn't going to want to see a future with me. And we all went bowling, and bowling should be chill, but I was just shitting myself the whole time, and I was just like, oh my god, what if they don't like me? And obviously I had met his brother prior to this, because he stayed with his brother, so I had already spent overnight. I got on with his brother. That helped the family situation, but I just felt like there was too much pressure, and I'm completely open with Lewis on this. He put too much pressure on me meeting his family and getting on with them is the be all and end all. Of course you want to introduce your partner or someone you're seeing to your family, but it should not be presented as a be all and end all, because nobody needs that negativity in their life. No one needs the amount of pressure that I had in their lives. Like, it should be such a nice, chill experience. It shouldn't be like presented as a deal breaker. Bad. The answers for this were either ASAP, which would probably be Lewis's thing, within a month, or like 1 to 2 months plus. 77% put 1 to 2 months plus, and I would definitely be in that bracket as well. Like, obviously I just have the one parent, and I would say, like, I mean, you're probably going to meet her early on, but if I had parents and it was like a proper meeting, then I think it should be like 1 to 2 months. I don't think there should be this pressure on it, and it should be a nice experience. You're with their son or daughter, and you're getting on great, and you're probably in a relationship, and it's like, okay, time to introduce you to the family, and it's like this lovely, wholesome experience. Not shitting yourself in a McDonald's toilet, trying to manically, frantically put your makeup on because you're about to meet his fam for a game of bowling, and you're shit at bowling. Nothing personal. Not triggered at all. So this brings me on to my next question. If your parents didn't like them, would this affect your opinion? Like, would you ditch them? If my mum did not like someone, and she's not liked people in the past, and she's gave me the whole I'm not sure on them, then it's just an opinion to me, and life is for making mistakes, and you should make those mistakes. Yes, if they're giving heavy red flags to your parents and they're like, look, I really don't trust this person, I think they could be dangerous, listen to your parents. But they're just like, I don't know if it's good for you and your look and your career and all that. It's just an opinion, and what should really matter is how you feel about them. And if it turned out to be a mistake, then that was a mistake and a lesson and something you've lived through. And life is for making your own mistakes, your own messes. Your family can't clean that up for you all the time. Like, you should be living it. And if it turned out to be a mistake or anything like that, and your parents were right, then it's a lesson learned, and there will be a lesson to learn from it. For this, it was either they're always right or it's just an opinion. 79% put is just an opinion. Like, they wouldn't ditch someone just because their family, they were like, don't really like them. Like, I think in those situations, you get it all the time when you see like mother-in-laws and like sons and daughters and all that, like, they don't go on, and that doesn't mean the relationship between their son or daughter is tainted with this other person. It just means personalities clash. Like, you want different for your child, but your child wants different for them. Like, I just think like that person you might be a bit wary of could be the best thing for your son or daughter, and that is just facts. I don't know how Lucy's felt when they met me, but I do get the impression they thought maybe I wasn't kind of up to his level, just due to like things like education and stuff, and he had a really good job and I was kind of just like doing my blogging and stuff like that, and maybe that wasn't what they wanted or expected for their son. But I'm very much feel like they like me now and they totally accept me now. But I do think there was a kind of personality clash at the start, that, well, what you doing with your life kind of thing. And I totally get parents feeling like that, like you do worry that your son's making a mistake and he's going to be a total scrounger. But obviously, like, Lewis chose to, I don't know if he was ever told anything, but he went with his feelings and we're 2 years in, we have a flat together, we have this lovely life together, and it just shows you that people can be on two different career paths. One can be more stable and solid than the other, but that does not mean that they are not meant to be together. So now on to the cute stuff. So how soon into a relationship should you say the big 3 words? I love you. When should you say the big I love you? When? As when it feels right. It feels right, you just know. When you know, you know. Under 1 month or 1 to 2 months. So nobody put under 1 month. Some people put 1 to 2 months, but the highest result was when you know, you know. And I also put that because until Lewis, I don't think I was ever in love properly. Like, I had lust and all that, but I mean, I probably thought it was love and I probably thought I was falling, but it was all lust or sexual attraction, and I don't feel proper love until I met Lewis, and that's cringe, I know, but I didn't, and I would say I didn't know what love was until I met Lewis either, and it's just a whole different feeling. Like, me and Lewis actually exchanged the big I love you within a month, and that might seem early to some, but when you know, you know. And I'll actually tell you the story, right? This is where I'm going to get cheesy as fuck. Just sitting with my mozzarella dippers, you know, giving the cheese. Basically, we were in scene ep.3, right? That doesn't sound as cute as this whole story, right? That's the least cutest thing ever, like ep.3. You discovered you loved them in ep.3, like what? Comes about a scary, creepy clown. But bear with me, right? Bear with me. So I remember just sitting there in the cinema, and obviously that's like a dead long film. I just remember sitting there and we just kept exchanging these wee looks. And I was like, I pure love him. I remember just looking and just know that way when you're both sharing the exact same stare, like there's that I love you stare. Anyway, when the night came to an end and we're running for our trains, and I pure wanted to say it to him, and I'm like, I can't say it to his face, like what if he doesn't feel the same? But I kind of got the impression from the looks he was giving me, he felt it, he definitely felt it, but I didn't want to see it. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I conjured up this wee plan, right? And I was like, right, I'm going to text him when I know he's asleep and say love you, but say it in a way that it sounds like I'm saying it to my mum, so that if he replied what and didn't feel the same, I could be like, sorry, I meant to send that to my mum. That was my plan. I actually done that. Obviously when he woke up for work, I was still sleeping, and he was like, what? And I was like, pure acting oblivious, like, what? And he's like, what you says? And I was like, yeah, like pure acting coy, because I could just totally backchat on all this. And he was like, I love you too. And I was like, results. It's like, oh my god, if he doesn't say this back, I'll be mortified. So yeah, I definitely recommend that method. Like, if you're worried that they're not going to send it back, say it in a way that you would your mum or dad or any family member. So cheesiness and just like funny stories aside, let's get back to the nitty gritty. So my next question was, do you think your experience with dating apps have made it harder for you in relationships? Like, do you find it harder to trust in relationships because of your experiences when you were dating and on the dating app? Obviously and stuff like this, they could have been seeing someone else, they could just not be that into you, they could cheat, they could fuck you over, they could just be straight up dicks. Obviously, when you think in a relationship you have these bad experiences, you don't just shake them off because you're with someone. Just because I found Lewis doesn't mean I'm like not still in the mindset of like you could be a wee arsehole. Sometimes I find myself getting triggered. I don't mean with trust, but I do find myself getting triggered and I'm like, oh my god, you sound like such and such. Like, does this mean you really like them? Past experiences, it can play a part in trusting or how you feel in relationships, and I definitely think dating has a lot to answer for in how we see ourselves or how we carry ourselves in relationships. Definitely say that personally, dating and dating app experience affected my relationship in the early days, and that I was waiting for Lewis to fuck up almost, because I was like, this is too good to be true, everything goes wrong for me, when's it going to go wrong? And I do blame fully that on dating apps and past dating experience, and it's shit that you're like waiting essentially for stuff to go wrong, but it's just that has been your dating experience, and you just can't shake that just because you now have like the official tag on you. So for this you could choose 100% or no. Most people did choose 100%, but 28% did put no. And I'm actually so glad there are people out there that aren't affected by dating and dating apps, and it doesn't affect them when they finally find the lucky person for them that were just made for them. Like, I'm so buzzing for you that you don't feel that negativity and nothing like that. Like, you go into a relationship and you have a completely fresh start. But for the 100%, I would say, like, just try and trust them, just try and like believe in them, and don't hide the past experiences. Like, sometimes when you're trying to act normal, you end up trying to like pretend none of that happened. But just be completely honest with your partner. Like, tell them that this person fucked you over. Don't even tell them who, but you can tell them like, this person fucked me over, this person did that, it's making me struggle to trust you. Like, make them know that it isn't them as a person. Obviously, if you're struggling to trust, they can take that personally and think, why don't you trust me? So make it clear it's not them, it's literally stuff that's happened in the past, it's giving you some insecurities. Here's the thing, it's so okay to feel insecure. We're made to feel in this generation you can't have insecurities, and you can't have insecurities in a relationship. It is so okay to feel insecure in a relationship due to past experiences, as long as you're completely open and honest about your past experiences and you don't try to plaster over them. Like, honesty is the best policy here, and as long as you're honest about your past experiences and as long as you communicate them properly, then it is completely okay and normal to feel insecure. You are only a human being, and it is completely natural. It's the most natural thing in the world. And yeah, just communicate your way through it, be completely transparent with your partner, and everything should turn out okay if they're a completely understanding person and they're meant to be for you. So yeah, it's funny how I can go from the dating video where I'm like, fuck this, fuck that, to this anti-laws. Like, I'm just really surprised with me, a completely different personality, fuck this side, and the sensible hat, I'm here for you babe side. So my next question was, what is the most important thing to you in a relationship? So for this one, people put their replies in. So they sent in the comment box what is their most important things. This wasn't like a choose your one. I want people just to tell me what is the most important thing to you in a relationship. So for me, it's probably communication. I would say if you can communicate, you can get through anything. For me and Lewis, this is definitely something that we both want in a relationship, is communication, but yet we both seem to struggle with it. Like, we both have such a bad habit of trying to sweep things under the carpet, to the extent that we sweep so hard that there's just all this dust under the carpet, and then it eventually just has to come out some way, and it just, yeah, it's usually just a really fucking brutal argument. Then you go back to the core, like the beginning of where that argument stemmed from. It's usually nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's just been like swept under the carpet that much, it becomes bigger than it actually is. The communication is definitely a big one for me. Like, if you can communicate, or you do communicate the small stuff, then the big stuff will seem totally a piece of piss. So obviously other people had and what is important values to them in a relationship, so we're just going to share some of them right now. Right, the consistency of this video is absolutely shocking. So not only have I went back up, I've also changed because I was dying with that jumper on. I was actually starting like to struggle to breathe, and I'm like, is this COVID or is this a jumper? I think it was a jumper, right, but I'll take a test, safety first. I like that. Oh, that jumper was heavy, oh my god. Right, so consistency, shocking in this video. Here for the context, so just like bear with me. So I asked before my little like outfit change, what is the most important thing to you in a relationship, and people delivered on it. Now I'm just going to pop all around me say the most common things that people say as the most important to them and pick out some key ones. So a few people also say the same as me, that communication makes everything to them. It means so much to them and it makes such a difference. Obviously already, like Hoodie Lauren already says that she agrees that communication means absolutely everything. Obviously trust and loyalty crept up here because they are very important. You can't be in a relationship with someone you don't trust, and you also can't be in a relationship with someone you don't feel is loyal to you. Obviously loyalty and trust kind of go hand in hand, but they are obviously two major factors and probably the same level as communication. There's probably communication, loyalty and trust all in the one line, and without them, is your relationship really a relationship? It's probably more bullshit than relationship. Basically, it is not a relationship, and if you feel like you have none of those three things, get the fuck out of there. One that was quite interesting here was empathy, and it's one I didn't really think about because empathy is obviously being able to bring yourself down and to relate to someone's situations or relate to someone's experiences and just having a feeling for them and being able to, even if you can't relate, just emphasising with the situation. Girls are so good at putting themselves in someone else's shoes. Even if they're a pair of size 11s, we put them on and we try walk the walk anyway. However, guys on the other hand, guys can really struggle to emphasise or relate to anything that they've never experienced themselves. Definitely see that's where guys and girls like differ. I would say guys probably struggle with empathy more. They can maybe do sympathy, but in terms of empathy, they probably struggle with it a little bit. So this question was, how do you feel about your partner liking the opposite sex's pics, and in brackets, not your friends? This is pictures of the opposite sex that are not friends, like not your friends, they're not known to you, and they're liking their pictures. How do you feel? Let me know in the comments, how do you feel if they sneak like a little sneaky liking on other people's photos? How do you feel? Me? Straight up, I'd be fucking raging. Not cool, bro. And what was the need? Why could you not just scroll on? Like, why did you have to stop and stare? Me, stranger danger, because I do not know her. Like, who this bitch? You're catching my drift here, right? Like, why could they have not just scrolled the fuck on? Why did they have to drop the like? Like, I'm all for peace and love, man, but like that's just taking it too far. Markedly right, this was actually a 50-50 split on results. 50% said the audacity of them and 50% said they're chill. Like that, oh, I honestly thought the audacity of them would have like sneaked it massively, but it turns out it's a 50-50 split. Some people are chill, some people are like, the audacity of you, hun, like who do you think you are? Which obviously, I mean, I may have just clarified I'm in that bracket just a little. Next question was, do you think reassurance in a relationship is healthy? So the answers were yes completely or no, can't be arsed with it. 96% said yes completely. Now this is probably actually quite a revealing question because a lot of people are made to feel that if they seek reassurance in a relationship, so if they seek it, that means they're insecure and they're not ready for a relationship. I'd say this is such a taboo subject because a lot of people are like, oh, reassurance equals needy, and that just ain't it. Reassurance does not mean needy, and it doesn't mean insecure either. Reassurance is the most natural thing in the world. Like, you could be the most confident person in the world and still need reassurance from time to time. It's so normal and so healthy because from time to time, from day to day, we do need reassurance. We go back to that little childlike mindset and we just need that little bit of reassurance because instantly, once we get it, the difference between it being healthy and not healthy is once you get it, you should feel reassured. However, if you don't feel reassured, then that means there's maybe more grit to it and there's maybe more going on in your relationship than you've actually thought about. Reassurance should say exactly what it does in the tin. Reassurance should reassure you. If reassurance doesn't reassure you, you should probably look more closely at your relationship because that does seem like there may be more insecurities or neediness at place. I'm a psychologist, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I would say reassurance is absolutely fine if it does lead to being reassured. This next question was purely just me stirring the pot. This was a comment only answer, and it was, what is your most common relationship argument regardless of how petty it may seem? So for me, it would be clean the fuck up after yourself. Like, daily I'm telling Lewis to clean up after himself, pick stuff up, shut drawers properly, because guys have this inability to just like put the stuff in the drawers properly. There's always like wee bits hanging out. Figure it. It's like, just put the stuff in the drawer, make sure the drawer is clear, and then close it. Simple. Apparently that's asking a lot of someone. That's my most common argument. Clean up after yourself, make the bed how I make it. How hard is it to fold a cover the way I do it? Like, it's literally just the other direction. I'm just going to win a man who basically is like, clean your shit up. That is my most common argument. Like, clean the fuck up. I tell you, it's my most common argument. It also doubles up as a threat to Lewis right now. Clean up, because you probably left something out today. See what I did there? I'll let you know the story. But also dug a wee grave for Lewis. Like, if you're watching this, hun, have you cleaned everything up today? Smart. This was everyone else's answer. And as you can see, common arguments definitely vary relationship to relationship. What's for dinner can be another one. Cleaning, dishes, they're all definitely arguments. Now, the one that triggers me about this is I don't text enough. Why are you not texting them enough? Like, fair enough if you live with them, but why are you not texting them? Because if you're not texting them, you're not doing anything to keep your relationship alive. Like, you should be texting them often. Like, that one I found on the other person's side, because I'm like, that is an actual argument. That's not petty. Like, that is, you should be texting them. Like, if you didn't text someone often enough, then you're obviously not that interested, so you should probably just call it quits. It seems like cleaning is a big one here, and I definitely can relate to that, and I feel it every day. It is painful. Cleaning up after the opposite sex alone is enough to make you want to live on your own. It's that deep. So these next questions are a bit of spilling tea, but also just personal overall. This one was for my girls. I asked girls, do you feel men value us in relationships? This was simply a yes or no question. 65% said yes. Not gonna lie, I genuinely thought the higher result would be no, because would I say I'm completely valued in my relationship? Probably not. Like, I am valued, but maybe not to the extent of all I do for him. Like, that doesn't mean that he doesn't love and value me. It just means I think guys, in my experience, my guy doesn't have enough appreciation for the lengths I go to or just how much I do for him, and I don't feel he would really understand or value me until it was all taken away from him. And I would say I feel valued to an extent, but I don't think guys will ever truly value you until you moved out or something. I think like, oh, do you know what, right? I would say if you're single, no, I would say if you answered this and you don't live with your boyfriend, you probably feel like they value you. However, I would say once you live with them, everything changes and you perhaps won't feel as valued, because they do take things for granted. They don't do it in a bad way, but they do get very comfortable in that little chair, making a dent in it. Really quite comfy there, and they ain't standing up anytime fucking soon. They kind of stop realising what's going on around them. A bit like how you can imagine they kind of just grew used to their mum picking up after them and like picking up all their shit. That's not cool, bro. As you live with someone, values might change and you might feel less valued, and I think that's kind of normal. Like, guys just get very comfortable and they leave dents, like bum dents in your couch, and it will piss you off also. And it'll become a petty argument because they don't smooth the couch out afterwards, and that bum cheek dent is just sitting right there. Okay, so my next question, moving the fuck on, moving swiftly on. Do you like receiving gifts / small tokens of love? Answers were, yes, this is my love language, not fussed. Even if it's just an Empire biscuit, like just my favourite biscuit or favourite cake, I'm happy. Like, just the fact that you thought, you know what, I'm going to get her favourite cake today, and like it's only £2, like, or £1.50 or something. Like, it's just small stuff. Or if you go to Lidl, my Empire biscuit's only 49p, but that's totally irrelevant right now. The little things, like, they thought about me and thought to just pick up my favourite cake, and I'm like, oh babe, like that means so much to me. I would definitely say small tokens of love or little like small gestures mean a shit ton to me. But weirdly, most people put not fussed. If you move in together, it is important to show each other that you think of them, because when they're always there, you do tend to kind of forget they need to be shown that you're thinking of them, because when they're in front of your face every day, you're also going to be thinking of them anyway. It's nice to be reminded that you are actively thinking of them and that you do appreciate them. And I would say, rather than small tokens of love, they are small tokens of appreciation. Stirring the pot a little bit, this question: do you think us women should be doing the chores, housework, cooking and cleaning? So this was either absolutely fucking not, because I'm old fashioned, or it should be a 50-50 split. Someone did put yes, I'm old fashioned. It was actually a girl, and I'm like, what? 50% put it should be a 50-50 split. Now my boyfriend put this answer, then afterwards says, I mean, I know I don't do it 50-50. Oh hun, why the fuck did you answer that then? Yeah, men are definitely in denial about themselves. Like, they will say it should be a 50-50 split and then give you an excuse as to why they can't 50-50 it. Girls should not be doing stuff on their own. If you're doing less than the man, say they're working a lot and you're right at home, yeah, maybe pick up some of the slack, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a life too, and it doesn't mean your life is any more less valued than theirs just because they're out working. Yeah, okay, make it up to maybe take one chore off them, but they should still be pulling their weight, because if they don't, it leads to a lot of resentment, and I've definitely faced that in my relationship. It does grow, you do resent them for not doing a particular chore, and it might be okay, it might go fine the first time, and it does lead to resentment. Am I wrong though? Because I actually seen a news report on this, and it was basically saying that people of the opposite sex, like the guy doesn't clean or doesn't help with the housework, then they don't want to shag them basically. And that spoke to my soul, because I was like, housework and doing your chores leads to shagging. Like, a guy pulling his weight around the house definitely makes him more attractive, and it definitely makes you feel more in love with him. If he doesn't, then you're just like, okay, fuck. We're now down to the two final questions. Now this second last question is, have you ever mistaken lust for love? The answers were simple, either put yes or put no. 69%, lucky for some, 69% put yes. And I would definitely put myself in this bracket as well. I have well mistaken lust for love. I said at the start of the video when Hoodie Lauren was on, and I have definitely been in that bracket where I've mistaken lust for love, and I still agree, I didn't really know what love was until I met Luce, so definitely agree. It's so easy to get caught up in lust that you think you're in love, and by that time you're too deep in to really like do anything about it, and you end up in a situation where you don't want to be in a relationship, but you've committed yourself so much to it by the point that you realise it was just lust. This is the thing, lust can go on for years, it can go on for like 1 year plus, and by that time you're pretty in the deep end of it. So I do think lust can get you into a wee bit of shit. Imagine it was that late and he's down on one knee like, you're the love of my life, and you're like, oh, I just seen you like a shag. That would be brutal. But I could imagine it happens, but brutal. So the final question of this two-parter, and it is, that's my 5 by the way, and this is going to be agony, but roll please. Do you, and I'm asking all of you, let me know down below, do you believe in the 1/soulmates? Yes, 100%. No, not really. What is your answer? Because in my polls, 77% say yes, 100%, and I'm definitely in that bracket also. I do believe in the one. Lewis is a bit sceptical on it, and I'm like, what, me? But he would say I'm definitely the one for him, but he wouldn't say the one, as I do believe in the one if they are so for you that yours are quite similar and you even finish each other's sentences and all that cute shit, and I would definitely say they're the one for you and not just the one right now. But yeah guys, that is it from me, the end of this two-part to the series. I'm sorry about all the inconsistencies, please forgive me for I have sinned, but honestly I was just absolutely sweating with that jumper on. I mean, I don't even know until this is like finished editing if my neck matches my face, but my dedication to this video was real and I'm sorry, please forgive. If you tuned into both videos, then thank you so much, and thank you for the support, and anyone who just participated in the polls on my Instagram, thank you so much. It was so fun to film, and I just loved the results, and I just love doing these chats and doing these videos, so thank you. If you enjoyed hearing all about this and you want to get involved and you're just someone with a lot of opinions and love spilling that goddamn tea, hun, then please follow me at That Being Gal and get involved in future polls, usually on the last day of the month. Let me know down below what you think I should put a next poll on. Until then guys, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this series and you want to stay tuned for more, like bell and also subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up because that kind of support means tons. Stay safe, particularly this new pain in the arse speaking about. Please stay safe, please stay sassy, and please have a sexy motherfucking Christmas and an even better New Year.